In this video, I want to talk about the different types of property titles we have in Malaysia. So you might be asking, what is a property title? Well, it's actually to determine whether or not you actually own that piece of property that you have. So that in the future, if you want to sell it off or if you want to transfer the ownership to maybe your spouse or your children, it won't be that much of a hassle. All right, so it's divided into two main types, the developer side and also the buyer side. So the developer will build up the property, for example, a high-rise condominium or even landed properties, and then buyers will buy those units from the developer, right? So it starts off at the master title from the developer, and when it's on the buyer side, once they bought the properties, the units from the developer, it will either be a strata or individual title. Now I'll talk about the differences between strata and individual in a few seconds. Okay, so here's the differences between the three. The master title is owned by the developer, whereas strata and individual are owned by the buyers. Okay, so when the buyers buy the property from the developer will change the title from to either strata or individual. Okay, now to determine the differences between strata and individual, it's quite easier. If it's a high-rise, it depends on the land that is situated on. So for example, if the land is shared among multiple units, like a high-rise condominium, then it is definitely a strata. But if it's just one land, one house, then it's individual. Okay, but it requires a bit more explanation for landed. Now, for all high-rise properties, they are definitely strata. And they usually come with maintenance fee and sinking fund because they share the common facilities, security guard, CCTV, all of the security measures. They share the common areas. As for individual, they don't really share anything because they own one land and one property on top of it. So for high rise or strata, but for landed, okay, here's where it gets a bit trickier. It's either a strata or a individual title if it's landed. It's strata if it's gated and guarded. It's individual if it's if the landed is fenced and guarded. Okay, I'll explain in this part over here. So high-rise condominiums, high-rise service apartments are all definitely strata. Office buildings, all strata. But for landed, okay, you have to see whether or not it's gated and guarded or they just put what, like a simple fence around, and that's why we call it fenced and guarded. And for strata title, if landed, okay, it has a gate, and proper gate and guarded are security guards patrolling the area. And one more thing, the residents in here, they cannot simply change the outlook of their properties as they wish. For example, okay, this house is white and the other house is green, the other house is gray, or they want to renovate it into a triple story terrace house. They cannot do that because they have to maintain the same outwards appearance. On the inside, it's debatable. I mean, they can renovate the inside, but they still need approval from the management. As for individual landed properties, they can do actually whatever they want. So if they want to build a triple story house over here, they want to paint it black over here, it's up to them. So bungalows, semi-Ds, all of them are individual title. Alright, so here's some extra info. Just now I talked about the three main property titles, master, strata, and individual. Now, there's also what we call a Bumi Putra lot and also Malay Reserve Land, or in Malay it's called Tanah Rizal Melayu. Okay, for the first one, Bumi Putra lot are only allowed to be sold, bought, and leased only for Bumi Putras. So only Bumi people can actually buy and sell this specific unit, the Bumi Putra lots. So to define Bumi Putra, there are Malays, Sabahans, Sarawakians, and also some non-Malay Muslims. Not all of them, but some of them. And okay, there's actually a law set by the government. When a developer wants to build a service apartment or a condominium, they have to reserve a certain percentage as Bumi Putra lots. So for example, in Klang Valley, most of the condominiums or service apartments, they have to reserve 30% of them just for Bumi Putras as Bumi Putra lots. And if, let's say, the owner wants to change the Bumi Putra lot into a non-Bumi lot, then it's still possible, but it takes time and usually they are rejected. I mean, it's not that easy. It's possible, but it's not that easy. But one good thing about Bumi Putra lots, They are way cheaper than the non-bumi lots. As for Malay reserve lands, okay, it's similar. You can only buy, sell, or lease to Malay Muslims, not Bumi Putra lots. They are not Bumi Putra lots, which are often mistaken by most people. So they are not for Sabahans, Sarawakians, and also non-Malay Muslims. They are only for Malay Muslims. Alright, so that's the end for this video. I hope you learned about the property titles that we have in Malaysia. So remember, there are three: master, strata, individual, and also the other extra two are Bumi Putra lots and also Malay reserve land. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.